I'm here with my son, Hunter Harris. He does a lot of my gardening blogs, and he is my garden coordinator. He plans the garden, he orders for us, he does all of that kind of stuff, all pertaining to the garden. And today we're going to be grafting fruit trees, and he is an expert at this. So I was going to let him teach us and me how to graft fruit trees. Tell me what the advantages to grafting fruit trees are.
It's less expensive for the biggest thing. You go to the nursery and they've put a couple years of work into it, probably mostly about 2 years of letting it grow up and watering it basically, and that's really all they did. If you know just a couple techniques, you can do that, and it doesn't cost much. These rootstocks, I bought a bundle of them, and each one of these is just $2.15.
And a fruit tree, you know, when it's not even having not even having fruit, how much are they at the store? You know, have you priced those out?
Yeah, a 2-year-old tree usually about $20 to $25.
Yeah, so I mean, man, you're saving tons of money.
So, yeah,
okay.
And then of course you get to buy the signs, and they're going to be extra, about $3.50. But you can make 5 or 6 trees off of one sign.
Okay. And sign is spelled S-C-I-O-N. I just had to say that.
All right. We got a lot of varieties out here. We got from our existing trees and some new varieties I'm excited to work out. A couple of these are from local varieties from around here, and then the rest are just old varieties that the Southerners have used for many generations, probably right back to the founding of this country.
Well, where did those come from? Like, tell me the part of the tree that came from.
These are just simply the ends of the new growth of
a fruit
tree. You just cut off the last year's growth before the bud starts swelling, and by grafting it to a rootstock, you can get the identical clone, really, of the tree. These rootstocks have a couple good disease-resistant qualities about them. That's easier on yourself than growing just a seedling, because you could just grow a seedling of an apple and then cut the top off and then just attach your good variety on top of the apple, and it works fairly well too. So what you got here is I just last week cut off some of the new growth. Okay. And I brought it home, wrapped it in a moist, damp towel, paper towel, and it's then wrapped it in plastic wrap or a Ziploc bag, and it keeps for like about a week. You may have to re-dampen the towel, but they keep for weeks in the fridge.
I know, they've been taking up a lot of room in there. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to help you do this today, so show me the process. Okay. All right, let's go.
And so what you do is when you get ready to graft, you find a viable bud, you get opposite of that, and just make a nice, even, sloping cut all the way across. It's not rocket science for sure. Okay. I just cut the end off because it kind of tends to curve on you.
All right.
All right. Then you get that is called what we're performing here in the first place.
Surgery, fruit surgery, tree surgery.
This kind of graft's called a whip and tongue graft, or a bench graft. It's another nickname for it because I'm doing it on a bench, so kind of like this. And so this is you get a whip like this, and you're going to form a tongue in it by going parallel with the sign, just a little bit of ways in this, a little bit ways down this stem.
Now, did you go straight even? After you did the slope, you went straight even, or did you curve it down a little bit?
It's totally straight
Just
parallel.
Straight parallel, so it should look like this.
Below the center, below the center line.
Okay.
Of the center.
Okay.
Yeah, below the center line.
Okay.
And don't need going that far, just, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch.
All right. Now you got
same thing on this side.
That's the stalk, right?
This is
that the stalk? Okay.
And just kind of match up the diameter.
Okay.
About 6 inches above, but 6-9 inches, not very important. But somewhere in that area.
Okay. So you went way, about what, like maybe 4 where the bud was going to be, you went about 4 buds up on this one, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're gonna cut all these buds out once
Okay.
this graft union takes.
All right.
And so this will just be the root
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
Do the same thing on this side.
All right. So you made your slope, and then you're going to cut straight into the middle, a little bit lower than the middle.
Exactly.
All right. You're doing good surgery there.
Thank you.
Be careful, don't cut yourself.
All right.
All right.
So you just got 2 identical sides. This
Okay.
one's fatter than this one, but
Okay.
but the point is, it's best to have them the same diameter, but
Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
these are getting old, these trees, and they're getting a little bit more skinny. It's hard to find fat signs. So you just push them together. They stick
Okay.
right together.
That's
Forms
pretty
a
cool.
nice little
Love that.
Z, maybe.
That is really neat.
And then what's going to happen is it's just going to accept the rootstock's going to accept this, and it's going to just start growing. And so, but to make sure, be sure to line up at least one side, the cambium layer of the stem, where all the sap flows, at least on one side. If it's a little fatter, it's alright, but you want at least one side lined up with the bark.
Where there's none of that flesh from the inside showing. You want bark to bark on one side.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Or it's not really bark, but
Yeah,
brown to
right
brown.
on the
You don't
inside.
want to see the green. Okay. All right. Now you're gonna make sure it holds.
Exactly.
All right. What kind of
this is
tape
right
is that?
here is specially made for grafting. It's called grafting tape.
Okay.
It's just parafilm. What's special about it is it lets this breathe. It lets
Okay.
CO2 and oxygen through, and so it prevents disease. And it's really good. It's nice working with this
Okay.
because it's made for it. It's kind of self-adhesive and everything.
Okay.
But you can use rubber bands. I've seen it done with rubber bands. You just got to seal it up a little bit better with this. I'll tell you about it in a minute. You also can use electrical tape even, but you just may have a
Does
little
it
bit
breathe
of
with electrical
moisture. It
tape?
doesn't,
Okay.
and that's
Okay.
what's bad about it.
Okay. But you can use that tape, surgical tape.
Yeah, that works too. And
Okay.
then
From
you can usually
CV
get that
or
at
whatever.
any
You know.
drugstore.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's a little more expensive, but it's
breathable.
It's breathable.
It
and
works.
It works.
Okay. Let me see you take this
Start a
up.
little bit below the union. And just slowly work your way up. Being careful not to separate any of this.
I just love this. This is the neatest thing to me.
Tight. And then once you get a little ways below it, just pop it, kind of stretch it around itself. Seems to join pretty well. On rubber bands, if you're using a rubber band or something that doesn't quite stick to itself like this, you may have to pull it under itself after you finish.
Okay.
Because to make it stick to itself.
All right. Okay.
But then you're done. Then you just get a grafting wax.
And you can buy this.
And you can
but
buy
you can also make
different-
this.
You can buy like a asphalt mixture to a version of this, and
Okay.
then you can buy.
Where would you go to
some
buy
just
it?
equivalent to this off the internet.
Okay.
Or if you have a nice nursery.
Okay.
We don't have one.
You made this in my kitchen. Go get
I
it.
just made this. This is some recipe I got off the our state's extension office.
Okay.
Okay. So this is 4 parts resin, 2 parts beeswax, and 1 part tallow.
And see, we raise our bees, so we have plenty of wax.
Yes.
And we keep that wax and make it into molds.
And then you can get
so
the
then you
resin
do that.
just off pine trees that you find all wounded in the woods. There's a couple of them I know of. And of course, I mean, whenever you kill your livestock or deer, it just gets some of that fat and render it down. And then just use it in that ratio, and you'll come out with this. It's kind of, they say it's malleable by the hand, but when I start playing with it in the hand, it gets way too tacky for me. So I just kind of got it warm. And
Mighty
just
cooled
using
off.
kind of a spoon I've made of this with this stick. And just, this is a lot more important when you're not using this tape, and you're
So if
using
you were
another variety of tape, but you just kind of get right on the top of the tape so nothing can get into it.
Because insects could get inside it, and where it's
And
cut,
mildew and
it would,
yeah,
and all kinds of
that
stuff. Okay.
And then you're pretty much done. You don't need this whole sign for this. You can make several more grafts with this. So all you do is just
it's a good idea.
cut it off about 2 more buds high.
Okay.
And put a little bit more of this wax on here so it doesn't dry out.
This is really neat. And then you can have a whole entire orchard for less than $100.
Yep,
I mean,
so
you know, I mean, that's just incredible to me. Look at that, all this food.
About $3.
You know, you can think about, I mean, all of this is going to be food. And just incredible dishes that you can make, and with apples and, you know, just, you know, and all of these are apples.
Yes, these are apple rootstocks.
Okay. What other fruit trees would you do this with? Because I know, like figs, we were talking about that earlier, and you can just take a piece of it and
weight it down,
and it starts going. But what other things do you have to graft to get the variety that you want?
Pretty much any other fruit tree you're going to have to graft. Pears do very similar to apples.
Okay.
When you're coming to peaches and plums, they don't take as well to this kind of grafting. They're going to be more of a cleft grafting, or budding is what they call it.
Okay.
And that's a different type of grafting, but they're not that hard. I mean, you can do them. It just they're different. But if you want to keep the same variety, you always have to graft.
It's pretty cool.
And so that's yeah. Now I'm just labeling. This is, you always want to label each stock you do, or a bundle of them when they get a bundle of them, because you don't want to. I mean, they look pretty much identical when you're done with them.
Now that you've grafted this, tell me what we're going to do next. I know you have to keep it warm or something, or, you know, you can't just go right out and plant it.
You want to now just keep it in a 60, 70 degree environment for at least another week.
Okay.
To let this bond kind of set on you. You could put it back in your fridge for another couple weeks until it gets warm enough outside. If you live up north, it's never really warm enough here. I mean, cool enough. Then you can just pot it. You just go ahead and pot it, and then just let it go through the summer. And by the next plant season, you can plant it or repot it.
Okay.
And you're done.
Perfect.
And so I'll label this and get to working on doing more.
I'm going to get to help too, because I know how to do it. All right.